So hello everybody, welcome to our latest edition and update for our Church Planter Chronicles. I want to be able to give you a quick update on what's going on with our family and what's going on with the church plant and everything. So first of all, I just wanted to let you know that our family is continuing to do well. Jonathan and Rebecca are still over at Western Carolina. They've gotten through midterms. Things are still going well as far as their grades and their studies and such. Even though they're still pretty much on lockdown, that hasn't really changed. And in fact, they're going to be home by the end of November as they go on break. They'll do Thanksgiving break, have a couple weeks of exams online, and then they're going to be done until the end of January. So they're going to be home all of December, all of January. And so we're looking forward to that. We're excited about them finishing up and being back here with us. As far as the rest of us that are still here in Knoxville, everything's still going well. Everybody's doing good. We're getting used to Knoxville, being adjusted to it, enjoying this cool, brisk day that we are experiencing right now. But overall, everything's going great for the Williamson family. We did end up closing on our house, as I shared with you last month, how that was going to be coming up. We did do that, so that's all taken care of and all done. So we're thankful for that. Thank you for the prayers for that. So that's pretty much it for our family as far as what's going on with the residency. I shared with you last month that Matt Giles, who I'm working with here in Knoxville at Providence Church, that he and I were going to be heading over to Asheville to kind of scope out the areas and kind of see where God was leading me and leading our family to really start planning our church and our lives in the city of Asheville. So we were able to do that and really feel like God is zeroing us in on a particular area there in Asheville. We've always been drawn to the downtown area, to the culture and the climates there and the people that you're able to engage and interact with. And this particular area is called the South Slope area. It's just south of the downtown area. Very eclectic, very mixed demographic, what's going on there, different residential, commercial stuff. So it really is the core, the heartbeat of Asheville. And right now, there's really no other churches in that area. There's churches all around the northern part, southern part, eastern part, western part. But as far as really in the core, there's not a lot going on there. And that's just where God has kind of put our hearts. And so we're continuing to pray about that. In fact, Matt and I will be taking a trip later on this week to be able to head back over there. We're going to head specifically to the South Slope area and do some prayer walking. And so I hope that you will lift us up in your prayers as we're doing that, even join in on some of that praying. I'll be glad to kind of let you know what we're doing while we're there. I might even come on Facebook Live or Instagram Live, something like that, and do some improper prayer. And so look forward to being able to share that time with you later on this week. But that's what's going on there. That's some of the biggest things that are taking place with our residency. As far as some of the prayer requests, continue to pray for myself that I have wisdom and clarity and direction from God on exactly where it is that we're to plant, where it is that we'll be meeting and gathering to worship together, where we'll be ministering together, and what type of church to plant. I mean, that's one of the unique things about church planting is you're starting from scratch, and so the slate is blank, so to speak. But at the same time, we want to be biblical and we want to be obedient to God's leading and His Word, because it is ultimately His church, not my church, not the people of Asheville's church, but it is ultimately God's church, and so we want to do this right. But at the same time, that's daunting and scary to know that we'll be setting the DNA and the culture of this church for perhaps years and decades, even generations to come. So just be lifting me up in prayer as I'm praying through all this, working through all this, trying to put down what it is that God's put on our heart for all these years. Continue to pray for our family, for the health and well-being of our family, that Jennifer and my marriage will stay strong and we'll be able to stay connected, for our children to continue to adjust and adapt here in Knoxville, and then later to be able to go on to Asheville. Be praying that we're able to maintain spiritual, emotional, physical, spiritual, all that sort of thing, mental health, and then be praying for spiritual protection, knowing that the target's on our back and that the devil's not happy when the Lord's people are at work. And so if you would just remember us in that regards, and also begin to pray that people would sense God's calling them to go with us. I've talked to you before about the different ways to respond to help us, and whether that be praying for us or giving to this gospel work, or even going with us. And this is the beginning of the time where we want to begin to talk about a launch team and a core group that will go with us. And so I know God has people in mind that will be a part of that first early group, and it might even be you. It might be somebody in your family, but I would ask that you would pray that God would begin to show people who they are, and they would begin to sense His calling, His direction in their life, and even to go to Asheville with us. Over and above all of this, I do want to pause again and say thank you. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your support, for those that are reaching out to us by text or email. Just these little reminders that we're not alone in all of this, and that we have a lot of partners in the gospel. And so I do want to thank you for what you have done for myself, for our family, for the people of Asheville, and I don't want to be remiss in not telling you that. Also, this is something that we want to begin to kind of get more ramped up and involved in, and that's being able to talk to individuals, be able to talk to churches about how you and the church could partner with us in the gospel. So, whether it's through Zoom or FaceTime, or it's text, email, maybe it's even us coming all the way back to East, to be able to sit down over some coffee or some barbecue, or be able to talk to a men's group, a ladies group, talk to the church as a whole. If you would be interested in that, or if you think your church would be interested in that, I would encourage you to reach out to me through social media, through the different ways that you can contact us via email or phone. But I would love to be able to have that chance to sit down and talk with you. So hope that you would do that. Hope that your church would be willing for myself, or even Frankie Baggett, who's Director of Church Planning Renewal, to be able to come in and talk to you about how you or your church could partner with us in the gospel. So until then, God's blessing be upon you, and we look forward to seeing you soon.